which some of you guys probably caught the end of there. On the map anyways.
I
Don't
saw and
mind the
heard
dead
everything.
bodies.
Oh, did you pop into the secret channel?
No.
Oh, okay. It was okay. It's okay if you did. I just didn't notice if you had.
I heard everything telepathically, of course.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Get with the times. Don't you know it's all the rage with the kids these days?
Telepathy?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, queen.
Telepathy is so hot right now.
So I think Wuce went to a party last night, and I don't know if we'll be seeing him today.
Damn, you guys are just partying now.
I know, I guess, huh?
Party animals.
I did not do any partying last night, so, but I did stay up kind of late, trying to get myself reoriented from missing last week, which I again apologize for.
Hope it was worth it.
And then I don't.
We don't mind details, by the way.
Yeah, no, I'm no details. She's a classy.
And why did you not play with us if you're not gonna tell us?
She's a classy
She
lady.
totally got laid.
She's a classy lady, and I wouldn't do that to her if she was a trash.
But you're not a classy man.
Yeah, but you know, if she was a trashy lady, I would give some details. But she's a classy lady, so I gotta respect her. I know that's like a foreign concept these days, respecting, even though it's supposed to be what we're doing. Nobody respects anybody these days, so.
Don't worry, the video is already on Instagram.
On that X2 right quick.
No, I didn't record anything.
Yeah, but she could have.
Oh, that's true. I never think about that.
Maybe she was an FBI agent.
I don't know what she'd be trying to bust me for.
Existing.
That's why. Always perform like you're on camera.
Well, that I do, but.
Didn't you know D&D is the game of the devil?
Yeah, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
It's been ruining young children's minds for decades now.
So everyone is familiar with like the FBI like spying on you memes that have been going around?
Yeah, I saw someone made this a lens for Snapchat.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
I was just thinking.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Well, I was just gonna say I imagined an FBI agent like pretending he was playing along with our game.
If he just popped in all of a sudden and he's like, "All right, this is my character. You are playing with me."
Just the thing about them following what you're doing and looking in your camera and shit. Like, I feel bad for whoever is tasked with looking through mine. Poor soul.
I feel you there. I have fully sat on top of my camera naked, so.
We don't know. Maybe there's someone at the FBI that's into that.
Well, they definitely are.
Are you kidding me? Being in a position of power, I would probably also be into some fucked up shit myself.
I can only get off if you shit on my chest through a hammock. That's.
I can only achieve orgasm if you call my mother something. I don't know where I was going with that one.
You got halfway through that one.
I got lazy.
Call my mother on the cell phone and tell her I've been naughty.
Oh God. I was thinking of that. I think it was Monty Python. Your father was something, and your mother smelled of elderberries.
Yeah, right.
That's the only thing that would make me orgasm.
I'm glad that I don't have any weird, very specific ways that I can orgasm. Although I did date a girl once who had that. She can only like orgasm in one very specific way.
Well, that if it's a very specific like position, like
Yeah,
that's
it's
not that uncommon. It's more if like you need to choke me with a tie and hit me in the face with a shoe or something. That gets a little bit.
I've had a girl ask me to punch her in the face. I couldn't do it.
Oh,
Oh,
that's a
nice.
tough one.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
okay with choking, but fucking striking them is just.
Yeah, I'm cool with choking, but I'm not cool with punching in the face. Like, come on, get out of here.
You know that's gonna come back to haunt you, right? You punch that chick in the face, like 3 days later, she
Oh
accuses you
yeah,
of
I
something.
mean
Like, fuck.
the second you piss her off, she probably recorded you doing it.
Hundreds of pictures of her with like black and blue eyes.
Black eye, yeah. Fuck that noise. I need like seven signatures on a consent form these days for
That's not gonna be enough.
initial here, please. I can't. I'm not getting involved in any of this noise.
You have to get consent before, during, and after.
Yeah.
And you
I've
need
had
the specific forms for each step of those.
somebody ask me to spit in their mouth.
That's kind of weird, but
A
little bit.
I might do that. I wouldn't punch somebody in the face, but I might spit in their mouth. Like I can get, I guess if that's what you're into. I don't know.
I mean, when you
Yeah.
make out, you're already like mixing saliva anyway.
Yeah.
Well, this is going to be a very sexual session of Dungeons and Dragons. I hope I think that now you're gonna find somebody in Chult who can only get off by having their testicles dipped in hot lava.
Well, he's only getting off once.
Yeah, he's only he can get off twice, technically, but.
Sorey would be happy to help.
Yeah.
My character slowly raises his hand.
Now I see you guys all standing at the edge of the waterfall here while you're like Mission Impossible lowering someone down into the lava pit, And he's kind of like trying to undo his pants while he's. And I guess it's
That sounds like a lot of athletics, Jack.
And I guess it's Riceak.
Oh my god.
Well, if that's gonna happen, we're gonna cut the rope.
You guys really haven't lived until you've done this.
But I went back and rewatched the videos because I realized that me and Wuce were both pretty wasted by the end of the last session. But the last time we played, you started exploring the shrine of the 9 trickster gods. You visited the shrine of Kubazan, where you battled with a frog hemoth, and you came out victorious with Kubazan with this strange engraved tablet that resided on this pedestal inside of this shrine where Riceak you leapt from beam to beam as they kind of swept out from under your feet each time you touched a new one, but you managed to make it to the other side and leave with the puzzle cube intact. And Orvex believes these are the keys that you need to enter the tomb of the 9 gods, where the Red Wizards of Thay believe that the Soulmonger lies, and where the solution to this death curse might be if you can discover the Soulmonger and destroy it, or figure out how it works and disassemble it, or do what you need to do to restore the world to its rightful place, restore the balance of Faerun, and whatever dark magic has taken hold over the world can be offset, and things can kind of go back to normal, and people can stop decaying and dying and wreaking havoc across the populations of Toril. But after that first shrine, you made your way across the boulevard to the shrine of Shagambi, where you discovered inside the Shrine of Shigambi. I'll kind of go over the interior of that again. And I was so drunk by the end of last session that I messed a few of the mechanics of the shrine up a little bit. So I apologize.
Yeah.
I apologize for that. But on the inside of the shrine, there were some steps that descended into a 15-foot high moss-covered room, and 4 statues of Omuan warriors stood in the alcoves on the 4 sides of the room. And there was a barred pit in the center, and on the far side of the pit was an empty pedestal, much like the one in the previous shrine, but this one didn't have one of the pieces of the puzzle that you're looking for. You descended some stone stairs at the back of the chamber, and as you entered the pit below, these 4 clay golems came out from their chambers and begin to kind of wreak havoc down below. And you guys managed to make your way back up to the top of the inside of the shrine, and after taking a little bit of a beating, you decided to retreat, come up with a little bit better of a plan, and return to the shrine maybe the next day after some rest and licking your wounds from the encounter with the golems. But Orvex is quite certain that the puzzle cubes are the key to the Tomb of the 9 Gods, and he's certain that whatever your goals may be, that you can't progress any further without obtaining all 9 of these cubes, these puzzle cubes, and locating the Tomb of the 9 Gods itself. So you've decided to take rest for the night, and so I imagine you've kind of congregated back on the outside of the shrine, maybe.
Yeah, that works. We've got our person who can put our tent up, so.
Evelyn,
Yes.
as you stand up from the pool of blood that you've been lapping at, you hear Ava in your mind say that it's been too long since I've fed, but it feels good. But it wasn't enough. I sense more. Another snack. And you kind of feel her point you in the direction back across the fallen tree that you've crossed and out into the ruins of Omu back across the river. And she wants you to start heading that way for perhaps another meal.
Well, I guess I don't have much other of an option.
You can make a charisma. You can make a charisma saving throw for me.
Yeah, sure.
So you fail, and you do feel compelled to make your way out into the boulevards from where you've been camping in the inner portions of the royal palace, and make your way back out into the streets of Omu across the tree bridge and in the direction where Ava believes there's more.
Can I at least wash off some blood?
Sure.
At least from my my face.
You can stop at the river. I'd
yes,
say
and maybe drink a bit.
Yeah, and I'd say that you'd have enough time to rest as well.
Yeah.
But you guys the rest of you set up your camp. Do you do anything during the night as you rest?
No, not really.
Okay.
I don't anyway.
By now you've
I'm changing out my spells actually.
Yeah. By now you've probably managed to scribe 2 of the spells into your book. Sorey.
Gotcha.
I think you can get probably one spell per night. You can probably work.
All right.
You can work. You can probably work as you go during the day when you find little bits of time too. So like maybe four spells. Four spells, I guess.
Perfect.
Does anybody else do anything during the night?
I need rest to get my spells back, so nope.
So let's why don't you guys set a watch for me real quick?
I'll go first.
Okay. Make a perception check for me, Sigismund.
Oh boy.
I still have a bit of a congestion in my.
Zero.
Oh my god!
I still have a bit of a congestion in my chest and a little bit of a cough, so I apologize.
I caught myself in a reflection of my armor, and I'm enamored with myself. Apparently.
Yeah. Yeah, and you actually can feel the now that you've made your way into Omu here, and you're having kind of a quiet moment of rest. You can feel the sadness of Galadia inside of your sword, and you imagine that it's probably from being contained here in this blade. You know, she was this celestial creature, and who knows what her life was like before this sacrifice she's made to keep you alive. But being, one of her children, she would have done the same for any other one of them. And now she's paid the price. She's you can feel her here in the quiet of the night. The sadness of of her presence in the blade being trapped inside of here.
I'll tell it I'm sorry, and ask if she is released from whatever she's done when I die.
She says, I don't know what will happen to me if you die. I imagine now that I have brought myself down here onto the material plane that it is very likely I could be consumed into the soulmonger.
Is there no way to reinstate her position?
She says, our best chance for hope is to find the soulmonger and destroy it. And then perhaps I will be free to leave my confines here and return home without fear of being consumed by the soulmonger itself.
Okay, so we need to get rid of the soulmonger in order for her soul to sort of.
Yeah, she says that she could leave the blade now if she wanted to, but she fears that if she does try to leave the material plane, that the soulmonger will keep her from doing so and will basically suck her into it and feed whatever this evil is that is growing here in the heart of Omu.
All right. Well, I will do my very best to get rid of the thing. Yeah. So just to hold on, hang in there, just for a little while longer.
But you can tell that this feeling of it's almost like hopelessness is something very new for her, and she doesn't know how to conceal it. It's very transparent for you, especially,
Yeah.
But your watch ends without anything else, much more than the interaction you have between you and Galadia. And somebody else is up next.
What's going on? Hello, everyone.
Hi, Mom.
You guys had after your fight in the shrine with the golems last session come out, and you're now taking a rest for the evening. And we're just on watches right now. So Sigismund is taking a watch, and now I need a second watch.
I'll take it.
Okay. Why don't you give me a perception check, Riceak?
Sure.
There you go.
So as you're, I imagine like you come out of, on your watch, you probably come out of Sorey's tiny hut, and maybe do a little scimitar work, and as you're out kind of getting some fresh air, you hear a few kind of pebbles fall from above you on the rooftops of a nearby building, and you momentarily catch a flash. It's hard to tell because of above you right now is just a massive black cloud, and rain is currently coming down pretty hard, but just outside of the walls of the shrine here on one of the nearby rooftops, you hear kind of a scuffle, and you just catch a flash or a glimpse of a humanoid figure, and there's kind of a flash of lightning and a rumble of thunder, and in that flash of lightning you can make out the outline, and it looks like whatever the creature is kind of got black but graying fur, and these two long thin ears that come off at the tips in little gray tufts. It looks like maybe a tabaxi of some sorts on the rooftops watching you, but in that flash of light he's kind of there and then gone.
And he doesn't remain?
He disappears in that instant, like the lightning flashes, and momentarily you hear the little pebbles kind of scrape and tumble down onto the hitting the stones below, some of the stonework that's crumbled below, and in that flash of lightning you look up to where the sound is, and you see that flash, and you see him there kind of silhouetted in the flash of lightning behind him, and you guys just make eye contact for a brief moment, and when the flash goes away, he's gone.
Okay. Then I just keep a extra wary eye out, and then if I see him again, then I'm gonna jump in the hut and then wake everyone up.
Sure. Yeah, why don't you go ahead and make a perception check again for me then?
Okay.
And I'll roll another stealth check for him. So you keep your eye on the rooftops, and he's kind of, you saw him kind of on the roof of this building right here, just near the shrine. And as you are kind of watching up at the rooftops, the top of that roof has kind of this lip, and it's about 10 feet higher than the building beside it down over here, and as you're kind of looking at the silhouette of the building, watching for any movement, another flash of lightning kind of strikes across the sky, and as it does so, you see him leaping from the taller building to the shorter one, and he kind of tumbles as he falls to the lower roof, and then he kind of disappears again in the blackness as the flash of lightning fades away, and then there's another deep rumble of thunder, as it seems like this storm is coming in very close now to the shrine.
Would I be able to tell if he looked like he was flanking, or he was just like saw me and is fleeing, running away?
It's hard to tell. I mean, he's moving away from you. He's, so, but it's hard to tell if he's maybe trying to come around the other side of the shrine. Once the flash goes away, it's pure darkness, and he kind of blends in again, and he's a little bit of higher ground than you, and so he kind of disappears into the darkness. But it seemed like he was moving away. And you guys.
I think I'm gonna take a step inside the hut, and who's the first person that I would see?
Probably Garn, passed out right at the lip of the inner portion of the hut there.
So I'm gonna kick Garn's foot. Garn, I think we have some company.
What?
There's a cat person jumping from the roofs.
Well, give it some kitty litter.
Why am I even here?
Evelyn,
Yeah.
as you rest for a few hours in the night, and then you cross the wide log bridge over the river. Just give me an acrobatics check. So you slip crossing the wide moss-covered tree as you're crossing the river in the night. As the rains are coming down, you lose your footing, but there are vines kind of draped down and hanging around the log of the tree. Why don't you make an athletics check or another acrobatics check to grab one of the vines before you tumble all the way into the river. Okay.
Oh.
So as you slip and fall, you hit a heavy your feet basically almost like just totally wipe out from under you, like if you walking and you slip on a wet spot you're not expecting, or like some ice, and they just totally come out from under you, and you land hard on your back, and it like knocks the wind out of you. And as you begin to slide off the log into the river, you kind of reach back and you dig your hands into the moss, and then you manage to find a thick vine just at the last moment, before your feet are basically in the river now, and it's rushing down past you. And just give me an athletics check to pull yourself back up onto the log. You manage to hand over hand get your way back up hand over hand on the slippery vine and pull yourself back up onto the log. You kind of like have you ever seen like Ninja Warrior where they do the barrel roll thing where the thing like kind of tumbles, like you kind of rest on top of the log, like that, momentarily catching your breath, and shimmy the rest of the way across, and as you get onto the other bank, you see a familiar face rushing between these buildings here. It was the tabaxi that attacked you and your party a few days ago. And he kind of stops in his tracks as he sees you standing up on the other side of the bank, and then darts into one of the buildings in the ruins out of your sight.
I'm gonna follow that suspicious motherfucker.
Okay, yeah, sure. So you dart after him, and you make your way into one of the crumbled structures that you see him, that he's darted into, and there's kind of a broken out open window on the far side of the building, and as you enter the front crumbled archway, you see him kind of clambering up through the window on the far side, and as he's got one foot over, he kind of turns and he gives you a sly grin, and then disappears out of the backside of the building. You can continue to chase him down if you like.
Yeah, I'll try.
Okay. So you rush to the backside of the structure that he's darted through. Give me a perception check as you peek out the window to see if you can catch where he's gone. Yeah, so it's not too difficult to tell. I rolled an 8 on his stealth, so his back foot as he was stepping out through the window kind of got caught, and he tripped and fell flat on his face below the window. And so you look out, and you expect to see him like running down one of the narrow streets between the buildings, but you don't see anything, and you look down, and he's like face first in the mud there below you. What do you do? You can see him kind of scrambling, trying to get back to his feet.
Yeah. I try to get. Wait, how far up was the window?
It was only a few feet, maybe 3 feet
Oh,
or so. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll try to get through the window as well.
Okay, sure. Yeah. I mean, stepping through the window is not too hard. You manage to just kind of swing your legs over and hop out onto his back, basically, and you give me an athletics check to keep him like pinned to the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Because he immediately, as you land on top of him, begins to start wiggling and writhing underneath you, trying to get out of your hefty grasp. But you're just, with your armor and everything, you're too heavy for him, and you just push his face back down into the mud and kind of squish it. Yeah, squish it, pushing it down deep into the thick mud on the other side of this, and you pin him to the ground. Okay. So you guys back at the tent. Riceak, Garn, Riceak's tried to wake you from your deep slumbers.
I get up, I stand up, and
What kind of stuff does Garn dream about?
Actually, he's been having nightmares of this big frog thing trying to swallow him.
Yeah. It almost got Sorey.
Well, see, that was the good part of the stream, and then the bad part is after it ate Sorey, it came after me, and
Gotcha, yeah. And then you just have to continue your existence down in its belly with him.
Yeah, that was the nightmare part.
Yeah. Just in a much
Forever
more
together.
Just in much more confined space together. Yeah. If you notice in the when I redid the streaming background, I put you two on the same square so I could fit everybody. So it's kind of like that.
That's-
Just confined in a little box together,
Thanks so much. But I'll pick up the staff and I'll walk out of the tiny tent and look around and see what I can see.
I saw the Catman jump from this tall roof over here to this small roof in the light of a lightning.
Let me see how far away this is. I don't know if your perception will quite. Yeah, it's about 450 feet. So I think it's a little out of your passive perception range.
No problem.
So you don't really see too much. You come out of the tent and Riceak points out to where he saw this supposed alleged figure, and there's
Why the hell did you wake me up?
there's another a few more quick flashes of lightning and deep rumbles of thunder in the dark clouds above. You actually see a bolt of lightning comes down and strikes this tree here on the other side of these buildings and kind of sets it on fire.
Scream like a little girl because I wasn't prepared for it.
Yeah. But the heavy rains put it out fairly quickly. But momentarily it kind of goes up in a quick flash of blaze, almost like one of Sorey's fireballs.
If I wanted a bath, I would have stayed out here. That's the reason why I'm in the tent. So I go back in and go back to sleep.
Cool. And then eventually after a little while, Riceak feeling like that the tabaxi's probably gone because he didn't plan on being discovered. You make your way back into the tent as well after the end of your watch, and somebody else takes over for you. We'll just say it's Wuce for ease of use, and then Evelyn, what are you doing with your friend that you've captured here?
Well,
Actually, what I need you to do is
okay.
make a charisma saving throw for me.
Mm,
What did you get? 15?
15, yeah.
That is enough. Actually,
Ooh.
yeah. So you feel momentarily the deep void of hunger trying to take over your body, but you manage to quell Ava's thirst for the moment, and you have this tabaxi trapped underneath you.
I want to lean down to his ear really, really close and just go, "What are you doing here?"
He says, I'm searching for the navel of the moon. You could help me. We could find it together. It's a very powerful artifact.
What does that do?
He says, why don't you let me up and come back to my home and we can talk about it?
I think you should tell me first, and I just want to remain uncomfortably close to his ear.
He says, yeah, and you kind of like twist his arm behind his back and go make an intimidation check for me. He's not a fan of what's happening to him right now. Let me just roll something for him. What skill is intimidation tied to? Is it charisma?
Charisma.
Charisma. Let's see. So he says, whoever possesses the navel of the moon and holds the stone can always find their way home to his or her loved one. My son is lost, and I seek the navel to find him.
Okay, but you saw me with the other guys coming in here, and why didn't you ask then?
He says, I've been in Omu a long time. I've learned that I can't trust anyone here. I can't trust anyone on this island, even. And you can tell that looks pretty old now that you're on top of him. He looks like he's, maybe. I think Tabaxi kind of live a humanoid lifespan, so he looks like he's probably 55 or 60 years old. You can see his furry cheeks. You can kind of actually see the wrinkles in them, and his whiskers are kind of droopy. Even in the mud now, they're kind of matted down, but you can tell that like his little jowls are kind of drooping down over his bottom lip, and you can see a lot of little gray hairs throughout his fur, and the tufts at the end of his hair are like almost stark white. You can feel that he feels kind of pretty skinny underneath you, but he still feels like reasonably muscular and fit. You're just a little too strong for him to struggle out of underneath, especially that he's like laying down on his belly. He says, I've tried to negotiate with people like you before. They're coming more and more every day now. And they all have secrets, their own motives. They don't really want to help me. They want the moon for themselves.
Well, I have no interest in that moon. But I'm searching something myself. So if you help me with my thing, I help you with your thing.
He says, well, in the position you have me in now, I don't see any better options. And since you haven't killed me yet, that's a good sign. I have a place we can rest. I have food. You look hungry. Why don't you come back to my home with me?
Okay, but we're not going over roofs, and you're staying on the ground.
Okay. He says, it's not far from here. And do you let him up?
Yeah, but I wanna keep his arm in a lock.
Okay, yeah, sure. It's not too hard to keep his wrists like pinned behind his back, and he shows you the way, and he leads you. So this was the building here that you guys had jumped through. So you're kind of right behind the back of this building, and he takes you just a few more houses down through this street here, right up here, and leads you into this little house at the back of these buildings. And as you come inside, you know there are cobwebs all around, and he moves like an old kind of rotting, decrepit rug off to one side, and underneath there's a trap door, and he pulls it open, and it goes down into like a cellar or a basement, and there's down there's like little sconces that are in the stonework of the walls that are already lit up. They've been lit, and he has a little table and a little kind of makeshift pallet bed, and he's got very few possessions. He's got things that he's that you can see. You know, he's got it's not too decorative down here or anything like that. It's just very basic and functional mostly. But he puts he pulls out a little flint and steel, and he says, you know, make yourself comfortable, and he lights a little fire. There's a little fire pit in one of the corners of the room, and he begins to strike his flint and steel, and there's already some dry wood in there, and he gets it going, and he pulls out a little iron pot from a little makeshift wooden shelf that he has various little things resting on, and on top there's a little iron pot, and he brings it down and puts it on, and he pours some water in, and he begins to add some ingredients and begins making like a little stew. Why don't you make a actually, let me look at your character sheet real quick. Okay, so he begins to just cook this little meal, and as it begins to heat up, it actually does start to smell pretty good. It seems like some of the vegetables and stuff he's adding to it, they're giving off a pretty fresh smell, like he knows where the good stuff grows, you know. So
the good stuff.
yeah, as his little cozy little home down here that he has is very dry, and the space begins to fill with the cooking of the stew, and then he eventually, when it's done cooking, he takes a couple of little wooden bowls and he fills them both, and he gives one to you.
I'll happily take it and just
He begins
pour
to,
it down.
yeah, he begins to eat his right away, like it's no big deal. And then he goes back for a second bowl, actually, and once he's finished his first and his second, and it seems like you haven't touched yours yet, he's like, aren't you hungry?
Well, to be honest, I'm not feeling that hungry. And I remember back to what happened in the camp. Just
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, no.
Why don't you make an insight check for me?
Oh god.
So you catch a momentary, like, flash of frustration line across his face, like his brow furrows, and he grabs your bowl, like, a little too aggressively, you know, and begins to walk back towards the little pot, and he pours it in the pot. And
There was catnip in that thing, wasn't there?
and he goes over to his little bed, and he pulls off the top blanket, and he tosses it at you, and he says, we can get started on our hunt in the morning. And he kind of flops down in his bed and falls asleep fairly quickly.
Can I look around his stuff? I'm not okay with the situation.
Sure. Make a perception check for me. So, at first glance, it doesn't seem like there's anything out of the ordinary, really. You know, he has a few little trinkets on the shelves that he's built, and it seems like everything in here he's probably made himself. Some of it looks like fairly decently made, but it does seem like he's been living down here for some time. But on the far wall, kind of opposite the room of where his bed is, you notice that some of the brickwork down here, it's a little bit out of place. Like, it's not totally flush with the wall. Like, maybe he's carved or chipped some of the bricks out so he can hide things behind them in the wall.
Can I see if I can, like, pull bricks out or something?
Yeah, go ahead and make a sleight of hand check for me.
I'm so good at stealing stuff. Pull one brick out, the entire house falls together.
So it's a little bit like that. You go and you pull. Basically,
yes.
there's like six bricks, and for some reason you go and grab one of the bottom ones, and as you slide it out, all the other bricks on top of it kind of come crashing out, and some of them like clang down on your the shin plates of your armor, and Bagum or the Tabaxi instantly hops up. He's pulled a short sword out from underneath his pillow that he has, and he turns to face you, and he says, "Now, who said you could go snooping around?"
My better judgment. Let me check some stuff real quick.
Sure. He begins slowly moving towards you with his blade in his hand.
I want to try casting suggestion on him.
Okay. Wisdom save. He fails. What do you suggest?
Well, first of all, put that stick down. You look ridiculous. And then I would really like to tell you what's the deal with this wall.
Yeah, so his blade kind of falls out of his hand and clangs on the floor in front of him.
Can I kick it away or take it?
He's a little too far away from you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He's about 10 feet away. There's about 10 feet of space in between you.
Okay.
So what do you do? Because soon he's just gonna go try and pick it back up again.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna go and take that blade from him.
Okay, so select your token and roll initiative for me.
Is it on the map?
You can just drag it down onto the map because I don't.
Oh yeah.
I don't have like a little just map for the inside of his little home here, but. I think he's going to beat you. So,
oh Christ.
He reaches down with like a pretty quick speed from what you were used to. He's been kind of moving a little slow and kind of taking your lead, but with a pretty quick speed, he leans down and scoops up his blade, and he kind of turns it in his hand. And as he does so, he reaches behind him, and from a little pouch, he pulls out a handful of some kind of grainy type substance, a handful of it out of a little back pouch behind him, and he throws it at your eyes. So I need you to make a dexterity saving throw for me, which is pretty good. You feel this grainy kind of like sand-like stuff crash into your face basically, and but just before it does, you manage to close your eyes. You see you see him kind of reach for it, and he tosses it out at you, and just at the last second you close your eyes, and a little bit of it gets into the corner of your eyes, and it begins to like sting and burn immediately, and you realize that if that would have hit you full on, basically you would have probably been blinded. And that's his action, so it's your turn.
So we're standing right in front of each other, right?
Yeah, he's still about 10 feet away from you, and he's got his blade turned in his hand, and he's taking like a defensive position, kind of waiting for you to, expecting you to attack, basically.
I'm gonna do an Eldritch Blast.
Okay.
What's the attack roll plus charisma?
Charisma plus proficiency. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
17 is a hit.
Right
1d10
in
plus
his
your
face.
1d10 plus your charisma.
Oh, sorry.
He takes 11. So what's your Eldritch Blast look like when you cast that?
Despite Ava being a soul-hungry demon, it's pink, and there are little hearts shooting from it.
Nice. So he takes the blast in his shoulder, and as the little kind of translucent hearts dissipate, he looks really confused. And he dashes at you with his blade drawn, trying to drive his short sword down at you. 22 to hit.
Yeah.
So I need you to make a Constitution saving throw. So you take 7 piercing and 26 poison damage, and then he stabs at you again.
That doesn't hit.
And so the second strike that he comes in, kind of over, he lunges in at you and kind of finds a exposed spot in your armor and jams his blade deep into you, and instantly you feel the poison that's coating his blade start to pulse through your bloodstream. Even your celestial blood can't fight off the strength of whatever this poison he has coating his blade. Then he draws his blade out and he brings it for an overhead strike, but at the last second you manage to raise your arm up and kind of lock forearms with him, and his blade just stops like inches from your face, and you're up.
Hit him with the great sword.
So in one swift motion, you shrug his arm away from yours and draw your great sword from your back. 26 is a hit, and he takes 15 slashing damage. And he kind of, his arms kind of go back above his head as you push him off of you and draw your blade and swing at him. And then he kind of tucks down in and dives at you, thrusting his sword out in front of him. 10 is a miss.
Doesn't hit.
And 8 is a miss. And he kind of just, not expecting you to really hit him as hard as you did, he kind of slashes forward twice and just clings off the breastplate of your armor, and you're up again.
I'm gonna hit him again.
An 18 is a hit for 16 slashing. So you open another wide gash, this time just above his hip, and you can see the his leathers and tunics begin to stain with blood that's seeping out from the large gash that you open in his side. He kind of spins around to the opposite side of you very quickly, and as he does so, brings his blade around, slashing at your throat with it.
Nope.
And then he tries to bring it down at your head again.
Nope.
And you're up.
I have to check something again real quick. I swear I know my spells.
That's alright.
Hit him again with the soul. Wait, is he looking kind of rough already?
He's got 2 pretty decent gashes
okay.
in him,
Yeah.
from your strikes.
Nah,
but he's proving to be a lot hardier than you originally believed, yeah. And you swing down at him with Soul Drinker, and he kind of moves and uses your momentum, and he kind of slides his blade across the top of yours, and you just, he kind of takes his sword in 2 hands and lightly parries your swing away with his little short sword as you swing it down at him. He's going to make 2 more attacks with his short sword as your shoulder becomes kind of exposed. 19 to hit. Oh man, that critical would hurt like a motherfucker.
Yeah.
And 11.
No.
So he just twice quickly very strikes into the shoulder plates of your armor, and you're up again. You can see kind of blood now that's been dripping down his leg from his wound, pooling at his foot. He's bleeding pretty heavily.
I want there to be more blood.
An 18 is a hit. 15. 36. So he starts to look a little panicked, and he uses his bonus action to disengage from you. He takes a step back, and even though he's bleeding from several open wounds now, he bares his fangs in a wide grin. He tucks the blade away into a sheath at his side, and he turns and begins to dart up the stairs, because in the room he came down, his bed was kind of near where the little ladder to the cellar was. And in one quick motion, he jumps, grabs the lip of the floor above, and swings himself up quite deftly. And you kind of hear his feet pad away above you. And you're up.
I will try to follow him.
Okay, yeah, sure. So you clamber up the little ladder that leads down into his little home, and as you make your way up and you peek your head above to the first floor, you see that he's totally gone. But you can make a perception check to see if you can discern maybe which way that he went, because there's like a side window, and then there's the entrance that you came in.
Well, I mean, he's bleeding.
He's bleeding pretty heavily, so it'd be like with advantage. But it seems like he's just gone straight out the front doors, and I imagine since you're taking your turn to just chase him, you dash. So he's used his feline agility to basically double his movement speed. And when you come out the front doors of the little house, you can see he's already like 60 feet down the boulevard. And it looks like he's about to dart down another corner. He's kind of ran in the... you guys were down here. So he's basically dashed up this way, and he looks like he's going to try and disappear like into these little cluster of buildings here. But you see him like just here. And then he's up again, so he can only use that feline agility every other turn if he doesn't move. So he just takes a normal dash, and he disappears into the large building here. And then you're up. If you want to continue to follow him, you did manage to see, and you can pretty easily follow the large trails of blood that he's leaving behind.
Actually, I would like to catch my breath because I'm not feeling too well.
Yeah, the poison from his blade is definitely, now that you're moving and you've climbed up the ladder and you've stepped out back into the streets of Omu. You're, if you ever have a dream where like you're running from something and you're just running really slow, like that's what it feels like you can't quite move the way that your arms and legs you want them to move. So where do you go to rest?
I'll go back down where we were, basically his hut.
Okay,
back
sure.
Down there.
Yeah. You make your way back down into his little hut. What do you do once you're down inside of there?
I would actually like to look at the brick wall.
Okay.
That fell together.
Let me just grab something real quick. So you find a little You find a little jar. You find a little glass jar in behind in the wall.
Mm-hmm.
There are these little purple dried out purple flowers. There's about 5 of them.
I do not happen to know what flowers they are.
Yeah, I don't think you don't have like herbalism
Okay.
or survival or anything.
No.
Yeah. You find a book. It looks like kind of like a tome. And you as you grab it in your hands, and you're looking down at it, you're experienced enough with flesh at this point that you can see that the bindings of the book look to be sewn out of flesh of some sort. It's not like leather. I mean, it's like leather, but it seems like it's like human leather. And there are like stitchings of little what looks like little like closed eyeballs, like on the spine and on the front and on the back. There's like maybe a half a dozen of them or so.
But they're stitched.
They're stitched, yeah.
Okay.
And when you open the book, it looks like a lot of the pages are written in abyssal. And you
Oh, baby! I can read that.
and a lot of it looks like some fairly dark magics. It looks like a lot of necromancy type spells.
Okay, cool. Also concerning.
And there is also another short sword. The blade looks like it's like stained with blood. As you kind of turn it, and the little lights of the firelight of the little campfire that he's made, and the light in the sconces that are on the walls, you turn the blade in your hand, and it looks like it's like stained in blood as you turn it in the firelight. But when you kind of go and wipe the blade or try and wipe it away, like it doesn't wipe. So it just looks like it like reflecting a pool of blood almost on the blade itself as you turn it in the light of the fire here in the little room. And I'll just read this to just take this down, because I'll have to come up with what it actually does later. But the seemingly simple short sword with a stained blade, the user can sacrifice fingers to the sword to give it a wild temporary boost in power.
Okay.
And then there's like a set of little weighted dice in there. And that's about it.
Okay.
Probably stuff that he's the jar of flowers. You probably think the only thing that can really come to mind is probably what he uses to make his poison with.
Yeah.
The book, is because you can read it, you know what that is. The dice seem fairly regular. They just seem to be like a weighted set of dice, and the sword is also a little mysterious to you, but also seems like it has some sort of necromantic property. And it's
Could I ask Ava?
Yeah, sure.
Could I ask Ava if she knows of this sword, or about the book?
Yeah, she says. Ava says she can instantly tell that it was probably belonged to a warlock of some kind that the cat killed and took.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it's a tomb of some poor adventurer that was probably poisoned by the tabaxi. But you managed to find you just come down here to rest, and
yeah.
Eventually just the exhaustion from the poison kind of takes a hold of you, and you kind of pass out in the cat's bed, and you wake up in the morning, and the firelight on the sconces have died out, as well as the little fire in the pit that he had cooked the stew in, and you wake up kind of the ceiling of the. This is not very good ventilation in here, so the ceiling's kind of a little bit of smoke's kind of congregated in the ceiling, and it's kind of now wafting out up into the streets of Omu through the opening in the trap door, and you wake up in the morning feeling a little better. I'd say there was enough of the night that had gone by that it would be only a short rest and not a long rest. So you could spend
Okay.
some hit dice if you want.
Yeah, sure.
And sorry, I didn't expect that to go the way that it did. So
Yeah,
sorry
I'm
for
really sorry.
the rest of you guys there. So thank you for your patience, everyone else. But the rest of you as well. Morning comes. The thick clouds remain in the sky. It doesn't get much lighter once night is passed and morning comes, but the thick rains are now still coming down. The thunderstorm seems to have subsided at least, and it's not crackling in the sky anymore, and the thunders can stopped rumbling, but it did through most of the night, and you all awake near the shrine again in the morning, coming out of Sorey's tiny hut, coffeeless because he forgot to pack his coffee machine, and
I just eat dirt in the morning.
yeah. And you guys are had expressed trying to come up with a little bit better of a plan to tackle this shrine and try and get its key, get its tablet.
Like, have most of us in that freaking bottom section, so 2 people ain't teamed up against 4.
One thing I did manage to find was a pretty decent little map for the interior of this specific shrine, which was kind of cool. So I can give you guys a little bit. It's not. It makes it so it's not quite so much of a cluster fuck like it is in the regular map. But let me see if I can get you guys over there. So when you head back into the shrine, this is actually what I found a ton of new combat maps too for like the Omu itself. So you guys head back down into the shrine, and it looks a little more like this. So you guys can bring yourself down onto the map if you like. I don't know if can you guys all see this? It shouldn't have any dynamic lighting or anything.
Yep.
Yeah. So you can see. Can you see the statues in the 4 corners and the
Yes.
the stairwell and all that stuff? You just so there's bars covering the pit there, Sigismund. You just dive over into the bars, or
No, I just put it there randomly.
No, I know.
I think actually following a plan might be a good idea. Like, I think we could actually crush these things if we just do a little bit of planning before.
So this is a little bit of where I have to apologize for being super drunk last week. Garn, you notice down below in the pit, now that you've kind of had a bit of a scuffle down there and it's displaced some of the old bones and moved away some of the dust and dirt, now that you've come back in the morning and some of that stuff's been kind of moved away, you notice immediately now that down there in the pit there are these 4 little pressure plates, and when you guys had went in there the day before and you just kind of marched into the pit, you basically pressed them all at once and all 4 of the golems were released. But it seems like you could probably now release them more of at a one at a time thing, and fight them that way.
Okay, let's do that and get that out of the way. I tell everybody that, and I'll get down there to help, and whoever else wants to come.
I'll come.
Sure.
So yeah, basically in the 4 corners, in the 4 corners of the room, there are these. They're very well they're not in the four corners. They kind of line across the front. So every step you take to the other side basically opens a cage through this other side of the portcullis, and a golem begins to come forth. So
Okay, I'll step on one so we can summon it and keep going. I tell Sigmund, don't step forward now. It'll summon two.
Does it summon like if I step there, or is it like in a line on this like?
yeah, here. So we'll do. I'll put little boxes for them. So they're kind of like that.
All right.
And,
Are we missing someone?
yeah, Wuce is probably hungover somewhere, like I was last week, and then Faye too. Yeah.
Very likely hungover.
But you hear kind of a scrape and like the clinking of a chain sound, and then through this open portcullis on the far side of you, one of the clay gladiators emerges in the front before you all. Whoops.
Actually, I tell people, hey, we might want to stop them from walking on the plates, so let's get over here.
Yeah, and then everyone.
Okay.
Everyone can roll some initiative for me. Oh, actually, yeah, we're missing Riceak.
You're gonna have to draw a token for me from.
Can you not drop yours down?
It's just the image picture anymore. It's not the token anymore.
It's coming down for me. Can you not? Do you not have control over it? Can you not move that around?
No, when I do it, it's just the avatar picture.
Drop one on the map.
I mean, you did it now, so it's fine.
Can you move it around?
Yeah.
What? An initiative of 12.12?
It's a tiebreaker.
All right.
And as the clay gladiator emerges with a shield in one hand and a long spear in the other through the open portcullis gates, Riceak, you see the large stone-like figure come forth, and then you do whatever you do.
All right, I'm going to cast Green Flame Blade and Green Flame. Oh wait, where? You mean the guys haven't come down here? Oh, is that what that red thing is?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm sorry,
I don't know why. I don't know why. Like on some of the tokens, they just skip the artwork. You know, it's weird.
Okay. Well, then I will. I'm just gonna hold. I'm gonna hold my action.
I bought that the Kobold Press Tomb of Monsters the other day though. There is some pretty cool shit in there.
I'll have to take a look at it.
Yeah, there's like 400 or so monsters, and it's cool because when you purchase it, it just puts them all into the compendium. So like, I can just click over to my compendium, and I don't know, I'll drop something down. Let's see, a Weeping Treant.
Can you drop down an owl?
Yeah, I can drop down an owl too.
Or that one I sent you on Discord?
Yeah, I uploaded it, so you can't drag that off either?
No, I mean, it's my avatar photo. It's not a token anymore. Unless you, like, make them the default, which is the DM.
Well, I dragged your token off of your sheet, so I don't know why it would operate differently for you.
It's now. I mean, it's fixed now. But in the meantime, I will. There it is. Thank you.
Yeah.
I will cast Frostbite on him.
So, and actually, you can roll initiative for Halcyon as well if you want.
Okay. And I will cast Frostbite on the Gladiator.
Okay.
So I need a Constitution saving throw. DC 13.
Fail.
And it does. It will have disadvantage the next round.
For its
It has
initiative.
disadvantage on the next attack roll it makes before the end of its turn.
Okay, cool.
Shouldn't you be rolling 2d6?
Wait, did I?
No, it's 1d6 cold damage.
I didn't roll the monster.
Well, what level are you?
This is Eldritch Knight.
Ah, gotcha.
It's a cantrip spell.
Yeah, but your cantrip should be off of your level. It doesn't matter. It's whatever level you are.
Like my frostbite does 2d6.
Okay,
Yeah,
well
it's
then
master level, I think.
I'll just roll another d6.
Yeah, it should say in the description of the spell.
There.
So it takes
5 damage.
5 damage.
Yeah.
Okay. A little bit of frost coalesces on the form of the gladiator. And Sorey, you're up if that's your turn, right, Chick?
Actually, it's only the 1d6. I haven't reached 5th level yet, so it's only 4 damage.
I think it's your total character level.
Yeah.
No, that's incorrect. The spell damage increases 1d6 when you reach 5th level, and
Yeah.
11th level, and 17th level. I'm not at 5th level yet for this.
No, it's total levels. It's not caster level. It's total levels.
Ah, okay.
So
Then
you're
5
level,
damage.
You're level 7, yeah.
Yeah, 5 damage then.
Sorey.
I point my finger at the creature and an ominous bell tolls. It takes 8 damage.
Nice. So the clay gladiator turns towards you, Sigismund. You can see the frost of Riceak's spells kind of give it a little bit of a frosty beard almost, and it strikes at you with his spear with disadvantage on the first attack, and then does 2 more. 22 piercing damage as it slams its spear. It like actually punctures through the metal of your armor.
I'm pretty sure he has disadvantage for the round, not just the first attack.
Yeah, the round.
It says the spell says the round.
It says and has disadvantage on the next attack roll it makes before the end of its turn. So
No,
it's
that's
just
good.
1 attack. Yeah.
So 22 piercing damage as it actually punctures through the plates of your armor, and you feel the tip of its spear sink into your flesh.
All right. Well, fuck you.
Garn, you're up.
I look at Sigmund again. It's like that hurt.
I'm fine. Coughing up blood.
This for the scratch.
We're gonna see if I can hit it. Hopefully, giving it another target.
Uh, 26 is a hit.
So 28 points of damage.
Nice. Little chunks of stone, actually, or little chunks of clay and hardened clay and stone, kind of fly off of the side of the creature as you slam your staff into it. It breaks down a little bit. And Sigismund.
All right. Well, there's not much to do other than trying to stab him with my sword in the response, I think.
Yeah.
25.
25 is a hit.
12.
Nice.
And I used the second attack as well. Because fuck that guy. 15?
15 is a miss, yeah.
God damn it.
He kind of mechanically raises his shield arm and your longsword clinks off the front of it.
No. Well, that's me.
Halcyon.
Halcyon will do a flyby and give me the help action for next turn.
Okay. Thalia.
Yes, so I'll step behind it. And grappling uses one of my attacks, right?
It uses your action.
It uses my action, so I'll put away my sword and try to grapple it from behind.
Okay, make an athletics check for me.
Athletics check.
Nice.
Wreck.
Super grappled.
Yeah. How do you grapple it? Let me see if I can see. I think this thing's probably this thing's probably like 2.1 meters tall. So it's probably a little bit taller, like maybe a little bit taller than you.
Yes.
Yeah. So how do you grapple it?
I just kind of like put my arms like over his arms and then like grab onto my wrists like around it.
Yeah, and you like pin him to the wall like you're grinding him
Yes.
at a school dance or something. Yeah.
It's not the picture I had in mind,
Okay,
but
that's-
if it works for you,
I guess you missed the start of the session, so I'm still my mind's in the gutter. Yeah.
fair enough.
By the way, a grapple is only one attack of an attack action if you have multiple attacks.
Oh, is it?
Yep.
Okay.
Because the grapple, only thing a grapple does is, unless you have something special to go along with it, it just restrains the creature so they can't move.
I thought it was an action, so.
It is considered an action, an attack action, and it replaces
Right.
one of the attacks of your attack action.
So I could attack it with with sword or something.
Try biting it.
So
That's actually pretty good idea.
a grappled creature, the speed is 0, and it can't benefit from any bonus speed. The condition ends if the grapple is stopped. But that's it for grappled now.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay,
but
so
yeah, I guess you could hit it with your sword then. Yeah.
That's a bit inconvenient because I use my arms to hold it, so I'm just gonna like try to headbutt it from behind.
Okay. Yeah. Nice.
Yeah. My stupid owl mask on. Is this like a D4 or something?
I would consider Thalia to be proficient in headbutting. So one D20 plus your proficiency plus your strength for the attack roll.
Okay.
Yeah.
D20. Proficiency plus strength, you said.
Yes.
27?
Yep. So you you kind of have its arms like spread out in front of it, and you just pull it down towards you and crack the front of your forehead onto the face of the golem. Its nose kind of splits the skin of your forehead, and a little drop of blood begins to like come down the front of your nose. But yeah, you do 1d4 plus your strength damage to it.
I look at Sigmund and have you ever thought about trying to do that?
Oh god.
I find it's far more efficient to poke him with the sword instead.
This is way more fun. All right.
I don't fight for fun.
So sorry, Riceak, you're up.
So I'm going to draw my scimitars and then approach here and then attack twice.
You hear a grinding and clinking of chain as you step onto one of the pressure plates, and another golem begins to emerge from the chamber beyond.
Dude, we told you! Stop with the stupid things!
I did that just for you for not waking up last night, Garn.
I did wake up!
But because you took the help action, you have advantage on your first attack here.
Yep.
26 is a hit for sure.
And I will use sneak attack as well.
Yeah.
And then I will use my offhand.
Nice.
And that's it.
This is going a little better than last time.
Yes.
Not if he keeps stepping on pressure plates.
I'm just going to run around and jump all on them. Just for you, Garn.
And actually, I will add this guy to the initiative real quick. Sorey, you're up.
I point my finger and shoot a beam of frost right at it.
Okay. Its frosty beard grows a little longer.
Does this hit me as well?
No.
Oh.
No, but now it feels like you have a cold compression pack on your forehead, staunching the blood. Yeah.
How nice.
The second gladiator emerges in the opening of the open portcullis here, and it turns towards you, Thalia, as you're grappling with his friend. Since you're kind of exposed here because you're grappling something, I'm very tempted to give him advantage on his attacks against you.
Fair enough.
That's,
Thalia is grinning with anticipation.
again, the only thing the grapple does is restrain them. It doesn't restrain them, just gives them 0 movement.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to. I'm just tempted to. But he does make 3 attacks at you with his spear. 24 to hit.
Yes, hits.
I guess you wouldn't be
12.
holding your shield up right now because you're.
So yeah, I
you have him grappled, and then you have your other hand basically empty, right?
Fair enough.
Yeah. 12.
Miss.
And 16.
Miss.
So 12 piercing
12.
damage. Yeah.
All right.
As he jams you with this sharp, pointed spear. And then the one that's grappled with you attempts to break free. So I need you to make an athletics check for me.
Okay. So close.
Boy. And it, but that's its turn. Well, I guess since.
Yeah, no, to break grapple, you take your whole turn.
Oh, okay. Then, that's his turn, and Garn, you're up.
Garn goes, God dang it, there's 2 of them now! So he casts.
You're welcome.
I cast Guardian Spirits.
Oh, nice. I get excited just when somebody else uses that spell. I don't even know why.
So DC 16, 11 points of damage this round.
They take that at the start of their turn, right?
They get it
Oh, right
when
away.
I cast it,
Okay.
and then on the start of their turn.
Okay. Okay. Sigismund.
Yes. I'll of course attempt to poke him more with the sword. No.
Yeah, 12 is a miss.
Try that again. Ah!
22 is a hit.
For 8 damage.
More bits of clay and stone crumple to the floor. He's starting to crack and break. Halcyon,
Repeat flyby, help action.
I'm gonna assume that that's what Halcyon does.
Yeah, well,
Unless you
at
have
this point.
an otherwise, yeah. Then Thalia, you're up.
Yes. So, I'm just gonna attack the one I just grappled with my sword.
Okay.
Also take up my shield.
Yes. 15
15?
just hits. No, wait, nope. Sorry, I'm full of shit. It's a miss. Yeah.
Okay. And attack again. Attack again.
28 is it.
28.
Yeah.
All right.
And
Eat.
as you strike your longsword into the chest of this golem, it kind of crumbles to bits. As it falls to the ground in pieces, the form of the golem actually disappears. Its shield disappears, and the only thing that remains is the spear that it was holding in its other hand.
All right. So that's my turn.
To the dead corner with you.
Just teleports onto the Enterprise.
Just for fun. But you still have you can change your target like in the middle of your attack round, right?
Me?
Oh, you just have 2 attacks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
2 attacks.
Okay, right check.
Sheath my swords and shoot an arrow at this guy.
Okay.
And then after that, I will take a step to the left off the pressure plates. Where is my bow? Oh.
And you can roll those with advantage since you took the help from Halcyon, right?
Right. I guess I can reroll.
Yeah. You never know when you'll get a critical strike.
Nope.
24 is still a hit, though.
And then I will move up here, and that's it.
Okay.
Away from the pressure plates.
Okay. Sorey.
I'm gonna move down so I have direct line of sight. Frost!
Nice. A little bit of frost begins to take hold in the little cracks and seams of the clay gladiator. And he continues his assault against you, Thalia.
You need to do the con save.
Oh yeah, this is the same as Riceak's spell. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, it's the same spell.
Yeah, sorry. I don't
So he has just
Yeah, disadvantage on his first strike.
Yeah.
Okay. What is that spell called again?
Frostbite.
Frostbite. Okay. Frostbite. I will remember that. So 1 attack with disadvantage, Thalia, and then 2 more. All missing.
Boring. Okay.
And Garn, you're up. I mean, you could always just do a kind of like a Dance Dance Revolution on the other 2 plates right now.
I was really thinking about that and then running out of the temple laughing like a madman. And then Martin suggested my character become the big bad next campaign.
So a DC 18 wisdom or 16 wisdom save for 8 points, and I step on one of the other plates.
Okay, nice.
And then I look at him and roll my eyes.
So he takes 8, and you hear the grinding of another one of the portcullises opening from the other room,
And I do, as a bonus action, I'm going to cast Spiritual Hammer.
Okay, nice. You get a hit with it.
Yeah.
An 18 is a hit.
For 13 points.
I'm just gonna move it over a little bit so I can select the token.
Yeah, sorry about that.
That's alright. Okay. And Sigismund.
Okay, let's try this again. Hey!
24 is a hit.
11.
Okay.
Again. Yes!
Yep, 19 is good.
Boom!
And Halcyon takes the help action.
Yes, sir.
Thalia, you're up.
Yeah, so I'll just attack the one in front of me. 16?
16 is a miss.
Alright. Ah, come on.
And,
So that's my turn.
Riceak. Wait, let me see. Okay. I'll just say, you go before this new one.
Okay, can I would like to actually allow the new one to come.
Okay, sure. Another one emerges from the room beyond, directly in front of you, Sigismund, making 3 attacks with its long spear.
And since it got into the area of effect, it needs a DC 16
Wisdom
save.
yeah. Taking 8 damage, right?
Yeah.
And you take 18 piercing damage as it steps out and jams its spear into you, Sigismund.
It's a second crit.
17 and a 24 for 8 more piercing.
Yeah, so 18, 26.
And Riceak, you're up.
Now I will... Okay.
Thalia is becoming envious of you, Sigismund.
I'm going to sneak in here, not to touch any of these plates. And I'm going to strike at this guy with the a scimitar, but cast Green Flame Blade on it. 24.
Roll it again.
Oh, yeah. Nope. So I will add the flame damage. So the first number is the first target, the second number is the one within 5 feet of it,
Okay,
which would be the next gladiator. There's my damage for that one, and a sneak attack.
What is your What does your green flame blade look like when it casts? Is it like just a green? Like it can be whatever you want it to look like, you know.
Well, I would when I do a strike, it like kind of, just kind of whips. Have you ever like jumped in a pool with those giant like noodle things?
Yeah.
I want it to look like that.
Yeah.
Except
So-
like on fire.
Right. So like as you swing your blade, like, or even like a wacky flailing inflatable arm tube man, like they start whipping at the.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That on fire. An
Yeah.
inflatable man on fire.
Yeah. So 8 slashing plus 5 sneak. 13.
And you get the 3 fire on the one guy.
I did the 3 and the 5 as well. Yeah.
Okay, 5 goes on the second guy, and then for my offhand attack, I will just do a normal.
25 is it.
And 11 damage.
Nice.
And then I will. No, that's it.
Okay. Sorey.
Oh, they're both still out.
Yep. Both still up. The one directly between Thalia and Riceak is beginning to crack and crumble, much like the one that's died already.
Actually, can I do one more thing?
Sure.
Use my fancy footwork to withdraw to here.
Okay.
And since I hit him, I don't take a
Yeah.
attack of opportunity.
Right.
Yeah. There you go.
Come, divine light, and burn my enemies.
19 is a hit
Nice.
for the first ray. 17 is a hit for the second ray. 10 is a miss. 12. As your rays of flame scorch out and cut through the gladiator, it kind of like almost like a lightsaber just saws right through like his shield arm, and it falls to the ground, crumbling and cracking, and the arm and the shield actually disappear, but the statue still remains just barely standing, holding itself together.
Impudent creature.
Turns and makes 3.
Wait a minute.
Oh yeah, nope. It takes a wisdom. Does it take
Take half of that. Yep.
So your guardian spirits begin to tear away the last remnants of the creature, just barely holding itself together. As they swarm it, and once they're done kind of clamoring all over it, they begin to kind of move away again, swarming back towards you, Garn, and the creature is gone. The only thing remains is its spear lying on the floor.
I love it when the stuff starts sitting around. Time to step on another pressure plate.
And you are up, Garn. It's at the start of its turn, yeah. So
Yep.
that one's been released. The top 3 have been released, so the bottom one is the only one that's not been pressed on yet.
Okay, and
Not that it I mean, it only matters of where you're standing, but you hear the familiar sound like the last 3 previous creatures. Its chamber is released.
so hit with a spiritual weapon for 8 points, and then total to death. DC 16 for 7 points.
Nice.
And that's my turn.
Okay. Sigismund,
Hey.
you're up.
Looks like you need to heal yourself, Siggy.
Nah, I'm fine.
Jeez.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Yeah.
Yeah, so as you go to strike the as you go to strike the clay golem, your blade kind of sinks into the creature, but then it becomes kind of like the sword in the stone, and you can't pull it back out of it.
Oh no. Yeah, I can't attack again if it has my sword. So fuck that.
So the blade of your longsword is now kind of sticking out of the belly of the creature, and you can't seem to pull it out from it. Like it kind of, as you struck it, like it made a part of its flesh become like soft and absorbed your blade, and then it instantly hardened again, and your blade gets stuck inside of it.
I kick the sword. How do I make an unarmed attack?
Just 1d20 plus proficiency plus strength.
Natural 20.
Nice.
Nice.
So 2d4 plus your strength.
Oh. 7.
And the loud clang of your gauntleted fist against the stone jaw. Halcyon takes the help action.
Yeah, but for Thalia.
Okay, nice. So Thalia,
Well,
you have
thank you.
advantage on your next attack.
Sweet. Let's grapple some gladiators.
Or yeah, on your next athletics check, yeah.
Whatever. Yeah.
But you're up.
Oh, I'm on. Sorry. Yeah, so there's an opening that I can like melee attack the gladiator. Like Sigmund is not completely in the way.
There's space right there next to him.
Oh, okay. So yeah, just gonna with advantage this time strike it with my longsword.
Okay. 24 is a hit.
24. Yeah. All right. 12. Then strike it again.
Yep.
16.
Just misses. Yeah.
Okay.
And then it continues its assault against you, Thalia, with Sigismund's sword sticking out of its belly. I believe even the 20 misses you there, right?
Yes. Yeah.
And then Riceak, you're up.
I will move here and then cast Frostbite. With 2d6. Thank you for the correction. I think that misses. Oh, I think it had DC 6.
It makes a con save, right?
Right. DC 13. Oh, wonderful.
Wreck.
So,
And it takes 8 damage.
You started your turn and forgot to do the Spirit Guardian.
Oh yeah, Wisdom. Takes half of 16. 8. 48. So is that your turn, Riceak?
yeah. It also, yeah,
It'll
but you know
have
it has disadvantage.
on its next attack, yeah.
Right. Okay, that's it.
Sorey.
I point my finger at the golem. Death has come for thee. DC 16.
So it passes.
Actually, hold on. How do I do this? It still takes half damage because of my potent cantrip.
So half of the 20 or half of the 4?
Half of the 20.
Okay. Nice. And then Garn?
for the one that's
Cool.
going to hit with the spiritual weapon.
Ten is a miss.
Yep, and then going to do Toll the Dead also. So DC, you have made every wisdom check, I swear.
These are wise clumps of clay.
No damage.
10? 7? 7 or 6?
No damage.
No damage? Oh, okay.
And if for me, it's all or nothing. For him, it's,
gotcha.
He's got that special.
Oh yeah,
thing.
potent cantrip. Yeah. So wisdom save from this guy as he moves forward into your spiritual guardians, which he takes 16. Right? Was your roll?
Yeah.
Okay, and then he randomly chooses a target, which happens to be Sigismund.
Hello.
God damn it.
Fuck you.
So he plunges his spear into your gullet.
Sort of. He stabs it at you, and it goes kind of into the puncture hole where that first clay gladiator had punctured through your armor. But then you kind of twist your body and wrench the spear out of his hand, and it goes clanging to the floor beside you.
Alright. What are you gonna do now, bitch?
Yes, but he still punches you 2 more times. With
Good luck. Fucking exchange blows until one of us dies here. Fuck this guy.
So 24 to hit.
It hits.
So he punches you in the jaw for 8 points of damage.
Okay.
And another 25 to hit.
Does hit.
For 6 points of damage. As you wrench his spear out of his hands with your armor, as you turn back towards him, you just have a flying fist connect right in with your jaw, and then another one just kind of, he swings it underneath and uppercuts you. And you see little birdies spinning around your head. Now you're
Fuck him.
Yep.
Oh, see. No, I'll be too angry. I'll fucking hit him.
You just punch
Yeah.
him? Do you punch him
Fuck it,
back
I'll-
or take your
Yeah,
sword
yeah.
out?
Nah, fuck it. I'll punch him.
Okay.
This is, he's gonna get it now.
Got into a bar brawl with a 7-foot clay gladiator.
15?
15 is a miss.
I'll have another go at him.
Okay.
For fuck's sake.
19 is a hit. 19 is a hit.
Ah.
Yeah.
Yes.
1d4 plus strength plus an inspiration.
Yes. Seven.
Nice. Seems to have little effect on the stone-like creature, but you feel better nonetheless.
And as a bonus action, I'll use Healing Light on myself.
Okay, that sounds like a good idea. Halcyon, who uses the help action on?
Thalia again.
Thalia?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thalia.
Yes, so quick question. I just noticed I forgot to level up
Okay.
Thalia, so I'm
You should
still
be
like on
you should be level 7.
7. I'm level 6. So is it all right if I like on level 7 I get like new what's it called? like new options for maneuvers? Can I already use them, or is this like?
Yeah,
should I just...
yeah, you should have them. So if
All
if
right.
you get new maneuvers at 7, then absolutely, yeah.
Okay, I'm just gonna leave my health like it's right now and change that later. But I used a goading attack for the clay gladiator in front of me. So add the superiority die to my attack roll, which should be a D8, I suppose. We just
yeah, I'm not sure if those ever go
look
up.
that out.
Yeah.
And only at level 10, so it's a D8 to my attack roll. Just how do I add things to my already existing attack roll? Should I just type it in, or?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that would be +9 plus. I can add like roll a d20 plus 1d8. Yeah.
Well, just make the attack roll with advantage first, and then you can just roll an extra d8 after that.
All right, let's do that.
It's probably the easiest way.
Okay.
So roll the d8 because you'll need it.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So 18 is a hit. Yeah.
All right. So check goading attack. It needs to. So it can expend a superiority die. Target attacking. It must make a wisdom saving throw.
All right.
And the save is 16.
Good at those.
Oh, God damn it. Okay, so we'll roll damage. 7. And I'll make another goading attack on it.
Cool.
Plus D8.
Yeah, 19 is a hit.
Anyway, so yeah. Okay, it must make another wisdom saving throw.
There you go.
All right. It has now disadvantage if it attacks anyone else but me.
Okay, cool. And I believe it still has disadvantage on its first attack next round anyways.
All right. So, 11 damage, I suppose.
Okay. So this one takes some spiritual 10, 20, and then he continues to. Let's see. I gotta mark this one. I believe this is the one that lost his spear. It was the fresh one, so I gotta just remember that. This guy lost his spear. So, the one who still has his weapon makes 3 attacks at you, Sigismund.
Come on.
Oh, really?
Oh boy.
A 3rd crit.
You asked for it, man.
I did.
It's all or nothing with this guy.
But you still take 19 piercing damage from his first attack, and then and then as he drives his spear towards you a second time, you grab the shaft of it and you just wrench it from his hands, and now you have his spear in your hands. Riceak, you're up.
All right, I'm going to do Green Flame Blade, the giant. What did you call it? The inflatable man? Is that what you said?
Yeah, the wacky wailing inflatable arm tube man. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a very hard to say. 20 is a hit.
All right.
So
here's.
You hit the one up next to you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Oops, that's the wrong button. I'm sorry. It's this one.
So that one takes 3 and the other one takes 0.
I guess. That's awful. Anyway, I get my stick attack too. And then...
How is that? Oh, you have a -1 wisdom.
Yeah. That'll change eventually. And Sneak attack, and then I will be done.
Okay.
Where's my button?
The normal
There you go.
damage as well.
Oh,
Yeah.
Jesus. There you go.
18. Cool. Sorey, you're up.
To the one standing in front of what the hell's her name again? Fuck.
Thalia?
Thalia, yeah. I point my finger at him once more.
Wisdom. Fail.
He takes 12.
Nice. Garn.
The one in front of Thalia, I'm going to hit with the spiritual hammer. Spiritual weapon, I mean.
$27 is a hit for 9.
How about Sigmund look?
He is putting on.
Perfectly fine.
He's putting on a happy face.
I think.
Which translates to about 3 hit points.
I take my prayer bead and I will cast Cure Light Wounds on him. At 3rd level.
Nice. So 10 HP. Oh, 16 HP, Sigismund.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And the gladiator makes a wisdom save and takes 10 damage.
He's the spell that just keeps on giving.
Yep. And then he attacks you with disadvantage for his first attack, Thalia, which is only just a punch. So I'll just click his attack for the actual attack roll.
All right.
So 2d4 plus 4. He punches you for 10 damage.
All right.
Right in the forehead where you had. So the split that you got from the other gladiator kind of opens more, and now blood's just kind of streaking down over your eyes, and he opens that wound in your forehead even farther. Oh wait, no, because he has disadvantage, so that's not a critical strike. Never mind, I'm full of shit. You just take. That's my bad. 1d4. You just take 6 damage. He still punches you in the forehead, and you start bleeding more, but it's not 10 damage. And
all right.
And then he makes 2 more just fist attacks against you. 25 for d4 plus 4 for 5 more damage.
All right.
And Sigismund, you're up.
I stab him with his own spear.
Nice. So the spear is two-handed. It is 2d8 damage.
Okay. Just have to hit him first.
Yeah. I'd consider it a martial weapon, so d20. Yeah, d20 plus proficiency plus strength. 15 is a miss on your first attack. Yeah.
Fucking, I'll have another go. Wow. Oh, fuck me then.
Yeah. He kind of raises his shield up, and in a rage, you just slam the spear into it a couple times, and Halcyon gives the help action to
Siggy this time, because he needs it. He's using this spear.
Okay. And Thalia, you're up.
Yes, so I'll just strike the one without his weapon.
Okay.
20.
20 is a hit. Yep.
For 11.
Yep.
And 10. Oh no! Even more weapons in his belly.
Well, actually,
So
actually, he as you swing your blade at him, he grabs your wrist, and twists your arm, and then he grabs your sword from you, and now he has your sword in his hand.
Come on. It's gonna be a pain to sort it out.
Jesus Christ.
Uh,
This is like a Three Stooges.
it's still going better than the last time, so
This is true.
why don't you give me a spiritual, not a spiritual weapon, but Spirit Guardians. He saves, but he'll take half of the 19, so... and actually... Oh, no, wait. Which one is that? Okay, yeah, never mind. 9. Okay, 19. And then this one still has his spear, so he makes 3 attacks at you, Sigismund. 20.
Nope.
And
Fourth crit.
18 piercing damage as he just jams his spear. This one again puncturing another hole in your armor.
Does she actually have a spear?
This one does.
I thought both of them.
Both of them lost them.
lost their weapon.
Yeah, you have his spear. That's my bad. Yeah. So he just punches you for. That's my bad. It is kind of a shit show in here right now.
But it's so funny.
11. He punches
All
you
right.
for 11. Yeah. Just
All
again square in the jaw. It almost feels like it's dislocates a little bit.
That motherfucker.
Yeah.
You better be alive on my turn.
Yeah.
I hope he's not.
Right, check. You're up.
All right, let's try this green flame blade again.
11 is a miss.
All right, then I'll use my offhand.
21 is a hit.
All right. 9 slashing, green flame blade, and sneak attack, and then I will be done.
All right.
I thought your green blade was with your primary weapon.
Is it? I
You
will
cast
double
it as-
check.
with the attack.
You cause rumbling from... Oh, that's the wrong spell.
It's a cantrip, right?
Yep.
Yeah, but it's cast with the attack.
Yeah, gotcha.
It just says you cast it with a melee attack. That's it.
Right,
Doesn't
but
say
you only
primary.
get one. But you only get one attack. You only get one of those. You can only cast one spell.
It's a cantrip, though. Anyway, I'll just take off the
I would have
extra
to.
damage
I would
then.
have to read the spell.
Yeah, just take off the extra damage, and that'll be the end of the turn.
Okay. Well, you still manage to kill that one. It crumbles at your feet, and its body and its shield kind of vanish, but the spear, which is somewhere, remains. And I believe that's the one that had your sword in its belly, Sigismund. That it also clangs to the floor.
Okay. I remember
Yeah,
to pick that up at some point if I live.
And also drops my sword, I assume.
Yeah, and your sword falls to the ground as well. So both of your
Fucking-
blades clang to the ground, then Sorey, you're up.
It dropped its weapon collection.
Yeah. Oh, nice. So the 18 and the 28 hit. And the beams of flame just totally slice through the clay gladiator, cutting him in two. His legs kind of topple forward and shatter, while his body just falls straight down, and also just crumbles, and then its body and shield disappear, and the spear remains held tightly in your grasp, Sigismund.
Fuck this guy.
And we will take our mid-session break here, so 5 minutes or so, and we'll come back. Well done.
All right.
No.
Fear not, companions, for my magic will stand against all our foes. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Alright. I have returned.
Welcome back.
Hiyo.
Bye.
So, Evelyn,
Mm-hmm.
after you wake up in the morning, you have two choices.
Mm-hmm.
You can follow the trail of blood left by your Tabaxi friend. Otherwise, Eva is still urging you to go towards the other shrine. Why don't you tell me the decision that you would make?
I would go for the shrine.
Okay, then you don't need to make a charisma saving throw. So as you head towards the shrine in the morning, you come upon a shrine, much like a few of that you've seen before. You know, they are all adorned or decorated a little differently. This one has two stone monoliths set on each side of the front of it that are draped in vines. You see this kind of leopard-like creature with snakes coming out of its back, carved into the relief of the stonework, and inside you can hear what sounds like a combat taking place. You can hear the clanging of metal and the familiar sound of battle from inside the shrine itself.
Okay.
As the battle kind of dies down and you descend the steps into the shrine, you look down into the pit between these cross sections of bars, and you see a group of about 6 or so adventurers down in the pit below. Inside above them all, you see two other humans, one tall, dark-skinned woman who I forgot to use in combat, and another shorter, very tan, weathered-looking older male with a bald head and kind of a tuft of graying hair around the sides of his head.
Let's kill him.
The two above on the floor where you've descended down both kind of look at you in surprise as you come in. Why don't you describe Evelyn for everyone?
I don't know. Did you see the picture I once posted in the Discord?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know if everyone else saw it, but she's slender, tall, has gray hair and silver eyes, and she's wearing kind of foreign-looking armor. Like, well, yeah, just weird armor, I guess.
Yeah, and so you see her peer down at you guys from above, and as she steps into the shrine, and Sigismund, immediately you kind of recognize the celestial essence in her eyes, and you do notice something. You see that strangely in here in the inside of the shrine, she's casting a shadow down in the pit below you, and your kind of always on divine sense doesn't give you any you don't get any ping off of her, Evelyn herself, but you're getting a fiendish vibe from her shadow that she casts, and you notice that as she moves, the shadow sometimes moves differently than what her actual physical form does. But you're the only one who can kind of see that. Occasionally, you'll see like it raise its two claws when someone has its back turned. It'll raise its arms and like it's going to attack or something.
So I never noticed this, huh?
It's a fiendish it's a fiendish thing.
Well, first off, I'll jam the clay thingy spear into the shadow, just for good measure, when I pick up my sword.
Sure. It kind of dodges out of the way of the thrust of the spear, and you're not sure, but you think you hear like a seductive laugh in your mind.
All right. Well, I will pull out Galadia then, the two-handed blade, and as I start slowly walking back up, I'll scream like, "You better have a good explanation by the time I get up there, or be gone."
You're dripping blood, right?
I'm fine. Leave me alone. I'm fine.
Sure,
Okay.
you don't need help. You're so rough. Did I interrupt something here?
Who the hell are you?
My name is Evelyn, and I'm lost in here because my group that I was adventuring with or traveling with is dead.
Except for the part about being lost.
Okay. Well, sorry about your venture group and being attacked, but you might want to watch out. Siggy usually doesn't get this angry unless there's something going on, so he seems to want to come talk to you.
Yes, and as you draw Galadia from its sheath, the blade is emanating kind of a silvery glow now.
All right. On my way up there, I'll have to use lay on hands on myself, I suppose, realizing that I might have taken a bit of damage.
When no one's looking, yeah, sure.
Yeah, like when I'm in the hallway where no one can see, I'm like, oh my god.
Garn, after the talking, is going to start picking up these spears.
Yeah, absolutely.
God, these things are heavy.
I'll help you.
Thank you. They're kind of unwieldy more than heavy.
They are actually fairly heavy as well. They're kind of the whole spear is kind of made of bronze. They are very long and unwieldy. Yeah, for sure. They're kind of difficult to even get up through like the stairwell. You know, you gotta kind of, when you're trying to lift like a couch or something over a flight of stairs when you're moving into a new apartment or something. It's kind of like that.
We can just lift them up through the bars.
Yeah, you can do that as well. Yeah. Azaka kind of stayed up to protect Orvex, and she will reach down through the bars and help you with the spears. So
Thanks.
Set them down on the floor beside. Orvex immediately begins to inspect them and just starts, jotting random notes down and stuff like that about the inside of the shrine.
So, Evelyn, how did you survive and your weak friends die?
We were surprised by snake people.
The Yanti surprised you?
Well, you know, where I come from, there aren't such strange beings as snake people. So it surprised me, at least.
What are you doing here?
I was searching for an artifact.
What
I
artifact?
thought you were lost.
Yeah, well, kind of both, I guess. My jungle guide died, so I don't know how to get out of here.
Well, we're going to be stuck here around here. If Sigmund's okay with you being part of coming with us, we could always use the help.
Are you kidding me? Her adventuring party died. For all we know, she might just die on us too.
What artifact are you looking for?
I believe it's called the Soulmonger.
I was about to say, there's only one here. If there's more than one, we're in trouble.
It could be anything. You could be looking for this like artist Simber's ring for all we know.
Where is she actually on the map thing
yeah.
here?
She'd
Still on
be
the
she'd be
stairs, I
yeah,
guess.
she'd probably be just like pretty close to where you are right now, but I'll drop her down.
Thank you. Good day.
I will point Galadia at her, and I will say, tell me why a Celestial carries a fiendish shadow, and be very careful
Poor
what
life
you
decisions.
say. That is not an acceptable reason.
Well, maybe for you, but I didn't have any other choice.
So this fiend is a part of you.
Yes, unless I would get somehow rid of it.
So you're trying to get rid of it.
Can't answer that.
I will cast Zone of Truth. What is the... Well, okay, first I will say,
Well,
I will cast a spell here.
Yeah.
Do not try to resist it.
Okay.
Evelyn, do you try to resist it? Make a charisma saving throw for me. Okay.
Wow.
So it's
Yikes.
your choice whether you choose to resist it or not. It's not Ava's choice. Garn, what's your insight for?
when we were first originally talked to her.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Oh, yeah. I wouldn't have enough time to try and use a spell, would I?
Well, he's basically announced that he's going to cast a spell on you. You could cast a spell at the same time, essentially, if you wanted to. But he's saying he's going to cast a spell on you, and he doesn't want you to try and resist it. But if you want to try and resist it, then that's up to you. You can forego trying to resist a spell.
Okay, no, I'm gonna let him do his thing.
Okay.
I will cast Zone of Truth then.
Sure.
And I'll say, I can appreciate your privacy. My question is simple. Are your workings fiendish, or are you trying to rid yourself of this evil?
Sigismund, when you cast the Zone of Truth, Evelyn, like a kind of a circle of divine magic begins to kind of wrap around your feet, and you begin to see these little kind of flashes of musical notes almost kind of dancing in the air around your head. And as you do, as this begins to happen to you, Sigismund, you see the shadow that Evelyn is casting totally move away from her body out of the zone of truth, and you see it kind of disappear into the stonework of the inside of the temple itself. And now, Evelyn, you're kind of free of Ava for the first time that you have been in a very long time, momentarily.
This feels
Her voice
great, to be
is
honest.
totally gone from your mind, but you do have to speak the truth.
Okay. So, it's a complicated story. I suspect that in the city I come from, the guide that once was my father is corrupt. And it has my brother in its claws. So, there was a fight between my brother and me, and I was on the verge of death. And Ava, this shadow you saw, she offered me to get vengeance, to know what is going on, to free my city from the grasp of Valandras.
Wait, who?
Valandris is her guide.
Oh, it sounded mysteriously like that witch.
Valindra Shadowmantle. Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Valandris.
Yeah.
Which is her
Okay.
which is her celestial guide Sigismund, and as she says that name, Galadia, the blade begins to pulse again, and you hear Galadia say in your mind, I know of this man. But sorry, Evelyn, go ahead.
Yeah. So I made this pact purely to survive and get to the bottom of what is going on, because I fear for my home.
I'll try to consult with Galadia. Basically, is that an acceptable reason, considering what she knows about the man, or do I need to hit her in the face with a big sword?
Galadia says to you that Valandris is a celestial that has voluntarily brought himself down to the material plane. He's taken the form of a man, and he is now the leader of a large city north of the spine of the world in the Arctic tundras beyond. He has basically been collecting Celestials' children and forming a small army of them, basically, that protect this city that Evelyn is from. She doesn't know much more of him beyond that, but she tells you that whatever the shadow is that is a part of Evelyn, even though it's moved away from the zone of truth that you cast on her, when they are entwined, Galadia tells you that it's very apparent to her that Evelyn does not have full control of herself in those times when they are together.
That is a dangerous ally to have. Can Galadia help me tell when the other person is in control?
Yes.
Okay, I will lower the sword.
Yeah.
Very appreciated.
Galadia says...
For now.
Galadia says that when she said she was lost, she did not mean that it was physically lost, more of a spiritual loss, and that she is very troubled, but she can possibly be saved.
She can be used as a force for good.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. You answered my question. You are free to converse with the rest of the party if you so please.
Thank you, how kind.
And I hit it with a sword. No.
you do notice that she has sheathed on her back as well a great sword. And you don't get well, actually, her blade does give you a bit of a fiendish sense as well.
Yeah.
But it's
Oh.
Galadia believes that she's worth saving. That's what
All right, I'll listen to Galadia, considering she saved me.
Yeah.
All right, everyone. I'll have to leave now because of work.
Yeah, no worries, Mark. Thanks for dropping by.
Thanks for having me.
See ya.
Goodbye, everyone.
Bye.
If you check Discord later, I'll post the experience, but I think you guys are at 24/7, right? Oh, he's gone.
Get right.
Well, we'll figure it out. Yeah,
24/7.
24/7. Okay, well, we'll figure it out later. I'll work it out later. But yeah. So you guys get the spears up to the top level where the 4 statues are standing up with
the spears and the statue.
And Orvex, yeah. Okay, yeah, they do kind of have. It seems now you notice they have these like open hands that are perfectly made to kind of hold the spears. And as you slide the spears into each one, when you slide the last spear into place in the statue, the pedestal on the far end of the pit begins to open, and as you can hear it, kind of the mechanism inside twisting, and it twists up, and up from it comes another puzzle key.
Yay!
Which looks like this, and I'll put it.
Da-na-na-na.
Yeah. You get the Zelda noise and.
Do 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 do. See,
Okay,
that's the real victory sound.
I get Sigmund and this new person together because she looks a little beat up, and I'm going to cast Healing Spirit.
Nice.
Thank you.
You. I don't think I know your names though.
I'm Garn. I'm a follower, I am a priest of Thard Har, and he loves the jungle. And gully dwarfs, which I'm not one of. But
Oh, okay.
by the way, you got healed for 39 points.
Sweet. Thank you.
And I'm Garn's best friend, Sorey. And also kind of secretly the leader of this gang of misfits.
Sorry,
They
what?
may have saved their lives once or twice, But we're all good friends, right, everyone?
No.
Fuck off, wizard.
It's all just in jest. We really have a tight bond here.
Wonderful dynamic you have here.
It was nice to meet you.
It's good to have another minion, companion, on our side. And one so interesting as well. I took you for a weakling at first, but it appears there's more than meets the eye. Evil in.
That's not how you pronounce my name, but thank you very much.
It's Evelyn. Get it right.
Sorry, these foreign pronunciations are beneath me.
It's pronounced dirty, fiendish heathen, is what it's pronounced.
Okay, let's all get along. If I can get along with Sorey, you can get along with her.
He's not a fiend. Well, kind of is, but...
So you guys step out from Shigambi Shrine. back into the streets of Omu with your second puzzle key in hand.
You know there's got to be one over there by the lava, so let's head that way.
Actually, I would like to show them my puzzle pieces.
Oh shit.
So Evelyn produces 2 more stones from her belongings and presents them to the rest of you. Evelyn, remind me of the ones that you had.
Moa's puzzle cube and Nang Nang's puzzle cube.
So she produces one that looks like a snake. And another one that looks kind of like a frog, or a grung holding a spear. And she would be able to tell you the location of the 2 shrines where she obtained those, which I will tell you here.
If it means we don't have to go over that lava, I'll be a happy camper.
It just so happens that the stone with the snake on it came from the shrine in the lava.
Yay!
That is Moa's, and the other one is let me see if I can find. Oh, there we go. Number 18, which is back. She describes that there's a large kind of stone ring that she thinks used to be the old palace. Would you tell them what else you know about over there, Evelyn?
Wait, sorry, what do I know about over there?
That you think that the Yuan-ti, their temple lies beneath the ruin of the old temple, the palace there, where you've been camping. Beyond that, up here in the corner of the map, was the other shrine of Nang Nang's puzzle cube.
Yeah, sorry, I totally forgot about that. So yeah, in that circular building, in that circle, I believe there's a great amount of Yuan-ti, you called them?
Yuan-ti activity,
people.
Yuan-ti activity is very active there, and she believes that maybe below, or her jungle guide and the rest of the party believe that they probably had some sort of temple beneath the city there.
Well, we can head that way, but it looks like 2 more temples on the way to get there, though.
What do you think we go up this main thoroughfare? Otherwise, we would have to cross this kind of river.
I think we're going to have to cross the river because it looks like there's 2, what could be 2 temples over there.
Yeah, I mean, there are many big buildings over here.
There's a tree that fell over the river further down. We can, if it's still there, we can cross over that.
Which way do we want to go then?
It really, I guess, depends on your sense of order, whether you're one of these people who likes to go from bottom and then go from side to side and get all the way, or you like to go up towards the top and then come back down and do the other side, I suppose.
I like being on top.
Oh, God.
All right, let's be tops then.
Okay, we're going up to thoroughfare.
So, I guess we're going up the thing, looking for the next shrine-ish? Or are we checking building to building still?
Up this way.
I think Yeah, I think we need to look for the shrines more than we need to look for the buildings. Because if we look for the buildings, we could be here for years. Look at it.
Yeah, and you can always, if the mood strikes, check a random one here or there, but it's up to you.
We'll trust Garn's perception to pick out the important buildings, I suppose.
Yeah, just the important ones.
Okay. So as you begin to head up the thoroughfare, the streets of Omu are kind of quiet this morning after coming out of the second shrine here, and as you head up the streets, you notice amid the ruins what looks like ahead of you some kind of abandoned campsite. As you get up to about here, you notice Garn, torn backpacks and rotted gear litter the ground around 3 moldering tents, and at the center of the camp, a scrap of dirty yellow cloth hangs from a crude wooden flagpole.
Something that we recognize.
Could make a, I'd say maybe Sorey, make a history check for me.
That was the right call.
You kind of recognize the tattered yellow cloth, Sorey, even though it's faded and looks very old. It belonged to a group that you've heard about called the Company of the Yellow Banner. They are a group of organized explorers and adventurers. Garn, as you continue kind of scanning the area, you catch a piece of moldy parchment caught in the lining of one of the tents.
Go get it.
And it says Rue. Devlin has led on the Eye of Zaltek. Devlin has a lead on the Eye of Zaltek. The old goat found an obelisk in the north that marks the entrance to the tomb of the 9 gods. The eye must be within, but the door is magically locked. We think the secret to opening it lies in the holy shrines. We're headed into the ruins to check them out. God's willing, we'll be back tonight. Rosni's serpent people are on the prowl, so be careful. If you get into trouble, sound the swan horn twice and we'll come running. For the Yellow Banner, Lord Brixton.
Is there a horn?
I want to look through the baggage too.
You don't find a horn. Most of the equipment seems like rotted rations and rusted, or anything that's metal is kind of rusted now at this point. And how long do you guys remain?
Let's keep moving.
Keep moving.
Yeah.
Does that over there look like a shrine?
No,
Probably.
It just looks like kind of you see a crumbling dome.
Okay.
But it doesn't really look like a
Keep going.
But just up ahead on the boulevard.
To the right.
To the right, yeah, right about there, where the tabaxi disappeared into, you notice immediately drips of blood. And actually, we'll get you over to the map here. As you approach, you notice pools of, some of it's been washed away by the rain, but you notice kind of lingering in a few of the pools of rainwater in the muck. The water's a bit darker, and it looks like blood has fairly large amounts of blood have pooled in some of these little puddles of rainwater. Let me get you to the right shrine here. So, can everybody see there? Cracked monoliths flank the entrance to this ruin. Saw-edged ferns grow in the courtyard between broken flagstones. A pair of stone doors provide entry to a large, flat-roofed ruin. It doesn't seem like you notice as you kind of appear in the courtyard, the pool of blood kind of stops at the front doors and then moves around off to the side of the building, and you notice like streaks of blood on the wall, and it seems like he turned and went off in this direction.
I think I'm seeing us on one of the older maps.
I don't see anything.
You don't see anything?
No, it's just black.
If you zoom
Oh, there it
out,
goes. There it goes. There it goes. Yeah, it pops up.
Sorey, can you see?
I see us all, but is this the right map?
Yeah, it is.
Oh, okay. Just wondering. We're good then.
Sculptural reliefs decorate the doors of this shrine. The carvings show a horned rabbit charging a small, feral-looking bear with sharp claws. A cuneiform message is etched above the doors in Old Umoan. Orvex says that it reads, Aijin teaches us to take the path least expected. That's all it says. Actually, Garn, you notice a smaller inscription hidden underneath the carvings. And it's just basically reciting a portion of the legend of the Nine Gods. How Ijin earned the ire of Obalaka by spilling a stew prepared for the god. So, I'm just going to be honest, and I haven't read this shrine yet.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna.
So let's go to another one.
No, but I'm not like super wasted right now. So I'm not drunk at all. So I think we should be able to continue. But you guys are outside of the doors of this shrine, and Orvex looks like he's basically itching to get inside.
Can I inspect for traps?
Yeah, sure.
I don't see any.
All right, then I don't need to.
Yeah, the doors don't seem to be trapped or anything.
I push them open.
Okay. You see a 10-foot wide hallway that strikes off into gloom. Carved tiles depicting various beasts decorate the hallway floor, and it looks kind of like this. You can see how it's supposed to be basically facing the other way. I don't know why they put it sideways like this, but you can see how it kind of coincides with the tiles on the shrine map. you see these 32 tiles cover a 20-foot long, 10-foot wide stretch of hallway. Each tile is 5 feet square, and the tiles are arranged in 8 rows of 4. The beasts depicted on the tiles are the rabbits with the unicorn horns, dragonflies, eagles, giraffes, monkeys, tigers, warthogs, and zebras. And so kind of stretching out before you are these rows of 4 tiles, each depicting a different animal.
Is there anything I noticed that will point certain tiles to maybe stand on or avoid?
Not that you notice overtly, no, really. Orvex.
You were breaking up all the time there.
Say again. Say again.
I can understand.
Oh, is Discord cutting out? How about now?
Better.
There we
Okay.
go.
Yeah, so repeat what you said again?
I said I want to. Did I notice anything about any of the tiles that are special?
Gotcha. You don't notice anything special about the tiles. You notice the pattern seems fairly random. Orvex kind of steps into the door hold and he says, take the path least expected.
That would be anything I walk on.
Spider climb.
Yeah, and he kind of stands there scratching his head. He starts like sketching the patterns of the tiles,
Are there walls?
Are there walls?
Yeah, like leading past this.
So there are walls that line the sides of you in the shrine, and then it kind of disappears into gloom at the end of the hallway. I guess actually, Garn, you do notice little holes, kind of lining the walls in various places that line across the tiles here at the entrance, like very small, almost imperceptible little holes.
Let people know about that, and then one thing I also do is I'll ritual cast detect magic and see if there's, any of these tiles might be glowing.
Sure, yeah. You notice that all of the tiles that resemble the Almirage, the rabbit with the unicorn horn, they're all glowing.
Okay. So I let people know that. I don't know if that means we need to step on them or not step on them.
Yeah, it's you get a sense of abjuration magic around them.
If no one else has any better idea, I'll volunteer to just step on the first one to see. Just step on the non-magical one,
Okay.
maybe.
So on the first row, which one do you step on? The one that looks like the beetle, the giraffe, or the zebra?
Giraffe.
Okay. So you step onto the 5-foot tile that resembles a giraffe, and nothing happens.
It's a good sign. Should I continue my journey? Fuck it, I'll take another step then.
Okay. Which tile do you step on?
Beetle.
Beetle? Okay, yeah, you take another step forward directly in front of you, and nothing happens.
Dragonfly.
Okay, give me a sec.
Uh-oh. It's going so well.
Must have played. Okay, so you step on the dragonfly, and nothing happens.
Turn around, giving double thumbs up. Step on the next beetle.
Okay, so as you step on the next beetle, A dart shoots out of one of the holes in the wall. Give me. Oh, I gotta make it a roll for it first. So. A dart shoots out of the wall and sticks into the side of your neck. You take 1 piercing damage, and a little drop of blood begins to go down your neck and shoulder. I need you to make a Constitution saving throw for me as well.
Come on. Oh God, 7.
You also begin to feel poison course through your veins, and you take 9 points of poison damage as well.
Ouch. Is that just straight up poison damage, or is it like every 6 seconds or whatever?
Just straight up poison damage, yeah.
Oh, okay. I will say a prayer to Lyra, and I will cast. Let's see, what is it? It's called False Life. I have the Eldritch Invocation Fiendish Vigor, which means I can cast False Life for free.
Okay.
At any time. So that's 8 temporary hit points.
Cool.
And then I'll take a step more onto the horse.
Okay. You step onto the horse and nothing happens.
Then I'll take a side step to the eagle.
Okay, yeah, you step over to the eagle, and again, nothing happens.
Step on the tiger. Let's see.
And nothing happens. You continue forward. Yep.
Giraffe.
As you step onto the giraffe, another dart fires from the wall.
I'll, as I'm getting hit by the thing, just pulling it out, I'll turn around saying, I'm hoping you guys are paying attention. You're the guys who are supposed to figure out what's happening here.
And make a Constitution saving throw for me.
7 again.
Can we discern a pattern yet from what he's is or isn't walking on?
Why don't you make an intelligence check for me, Sorey? You take 9 points of damage, Sigismund.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so you notice that his second step was the beetle, and then as he took his fourth step onto another beetle, a dart shot out. And then he stepped onto the second draft. His first step was a draft, and he stepped onto the second draft, and a dart shot out.
Okay.
So you think, Sorey, that stepping on the same animal twice is what triggers the trap.
I let Sigismund know.
Can you just fly over there?
I can walk on walls.
I mean, that would do it as well.
But I guess I can't see that far down the hallway to see what's ahead of me.
Yeah, the hall is... The tiles go for 40 feet at least. With your human vision, you know.
Okay.
Besides, watching this is much more fun.
Well, I'll say another prayer for the hit points, and I'll go monkey. I haven't stepped to one of those yet.
Yep, you step over to monkey and nothing happens.
And I will put up my shield as I'm stepping onto the dragonfly in the direction I'm thinking the thing is going to come from.
And you did step on a dragonfly once already.
Yes, I did.
1d... and it sticks into you, or bounces off your shield.
And
you make
I'm
it
off
to,
the thing.
Yeah, you make it to the far side. You come across and you see a dusty maze. It looks like you see that stone walls go off in either direction on either side of you. off into darkness.
Okay, I'll wait for the others to come over.
There seems to be kind of a strange haze throughout the labyrinth here that makes seeing too far ahead of you, even with dark vision or anything, kind of difficult.
It wouldn't be affected by... No, never mind. Like I said, I'll just wait for the others.
Sure. Who's up next?
I try to walk along the wall.
Okay, yeah, you easily walk across the wall to the far side and meet with Sigismund on the other end.
Woo!
So on the bottom of the picture, I just walk straight across.
Okay. Which tile do you start at?
The bottom one. So there's one of each in the bottom row.
Uh-huh.
So I just walk across those.
So it goes like, you see the little north orientation arrow?
Yeah. So I'm going north.
Yeah.
But I'm on the furthest west tile. So it's like a unicorn, then a giraffe, then I think that's a crab or a spider or something.
So the first row of tiles is from, if you turn your head and look at it, and I still don't know why they fucking don't make it straight. The first row of tiles from left to right is unicorn, rabbit, beetle, giraffe, horse.
So I'll start with the unicorn.
Okay. Then as you step onto the unicorn tile, which is one of the glowing ones, you gain 7 temporary hit points.
Oh.
And then you just walk. Then you just walk straight across that row.
Yeah, because there's one of each.
1, 2, 3, 4. Yep. That far side is just good to go. So you make your way into.
And the rest will follow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then Garn, you gain 8 temporary hit points. Evelyn, you gain 17 temporary hit points.
Damn.
Jesus.
What the fuck?
That's awesome.
That's everyone, I guess. Yep.
Is there like a
I take
a
Sigmund
spell
and
effect?
I take Sigmund and I put him on the last unicorn rabbit thing.
Exactly.
And you gain 10 temporary hit points.
Thanks.
Sorey,
Spend so much time avoiding them.
you can tiptoe onto one of them if you want.
Yeah, I'll go along the wall and then step on one of the glowing ones.
Okay. 7 temporary hit points.
Interesting.
And Orvex and Azaka both do the same. They each step on a unicorn rabbit and make their way across as well. But Azaka and Orvex wait, and Orvex says, once you guys have made your way further into the labyrinth, I'll follow behind to chronicle the labyrinth, but I would hate for something to happen to me and not be able to continue translating the shrines for you.
Understood.
And Azaka will wait with him and guard.
That is such a great sentiment. I would hate for something to happen to me.
So now we're in the temple.
So your
Or the shrine?
yes, and inside of here, Garn, your passive perception is cut in half.
No.
So it's normal now.
Yeah, normal basically. Yeah.
Way better than mine.
Yeah. Which would put it at what?
12.
11 or 12? Yeah. Okay.
11, yeah, it'd be 11.
Cool.
Well, that sucks.
So you guys are in what looks to be this little, very confined, kind of narrow passaged labyrinth of sorts.
Go left. Follow the wall. Wait for the Minotaur.
Orvex, before you guys kind of disappear from sight, he shouts kind of, or he says, remember, um, take the path least expected. Whatever that means.
So through the wall.
Sigismund, you just basically make your way through some old cobwebs and continue up the pathway, making your way rounding corners in the haze of the little maze here.
He said left, so I'm going left.
Yep. You're good so far. I'll let you know if something happens.
All right.
But feel free to move as you wish through the walls or through the between the walls of the labyrinth. Yeah.
Okay, I guess I'm not on the right map.
Oh, sorry, you're outside. There you go.
Oh.
Yeah, me too. I'm still in the old temple.
And I can't see now.
Oh. I understand what's going on. Yeah, so you guys are down here.
Yeah, we can't see anything.
So Riceak, you can't see anything?
Nothing. Do I have sight? Or have you revealed it?
Oh, I understand what's happening. I have to fix all your tokens after the session. They keep.
There we go.
Yeah, they keep reverting back to.
There we go.
I'll fix these after the game today. Evelyn, you can see, right?
Mhm.
Sigismund, you can see, right?
Yes, thank you.
Cool.
Oh, sorry.
So Sigismund, you make it.
I'm hoping people are following.
Yeah, you make it through the labyrinth. You get kind of ahead of everybody.
Uh-oh.
And
That was not the plan.
nothing really happens to you. But you're standing now here in front of a door. Garn, don't move.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Right here. Make a. Well, actually.
I'm supposed to be following Sigmund, so
Yeah.
tell me what's going on.
He kind of disappeared. I know you can see the whole map or whatever, but
I wasn't
can't see
trying
the
to
whole
run
map.
ahead.
make a. Oh yeah, that's right. You can't see the whole map. So make a perception check for me.
Garn?
Garn, yeah. So you round the corner, Garn, and you step onto you feel basically a plate shift underneath the weight of you, and
Okay.
sliding out from the walls is a lightning speed kind of a blade that slices out beside you. 1d20. 17 to hit.
Nope.
So it kind of like slashes just at your head level, and you duck under it just in time, and you're able to kind of take a step back off the plate, and apparently that's the wrong way.
Okay.
Sigismund, you're standing in front of a door.
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah.
Okay. Do the rest of us want to move to catch up, or are you willing to keep going?
I am waiting for everyone. Like, I'm calling down the corridors. Like, apparently I managed to get ahead. Like,
Yeah, you can
no?
you can hear Sigismund's voice kind of echoing through the halls, but they kind of bounce off the walls, and you can tell that he went in the direction that you were going, but you just took a wrong turn, maybe, Garn.
Marco.
Well,
Can you yell louder again?
Try and move your tokens like so, through your line of vision. Don't like bust through walls. Yeah. There you go. I'll tell you if you step on something. So you make it to a door as well, Garn, without any.
Oh no.
Do you just step through it?
I'm trying to wait for other people,
Okay,
so
yeah. Sure. It looks like you've gone through, but
I need to be there.
yeah.
Oh god, thank God I found you.
And you guys make your way through this hazy maze, seemingly not stepping on anything else too dangerous. And Garn, you're standing in front of a door. Sigismund, you are as well.
And we don't
open
see
the door.
Yeah, if I could bust the door open.
Sure, yeah. Doesn't appear to be locked. Neither does yours, Garn. No traps go off or anything. You see a shaft.
Then we run into one another.
Yeah, and you basically open the doors at the same time, and you kind of see Sigismund and Garn. You see each other like standing across from each other. There's a shaft of natural light that spills from a tiny square hole in the ceiling into a carved stone pedestal in the center of the room, and then an ornate stone cube rests on its surface.
Go over and look at the pedestal to see if there might be something menacing about it.
Yeah, you can make a perception check for me.
I will give myself guidance also.
Sure.
So 15.
You don't notice anything menacing about the pedestal, but out of the corner of your eye, Sigismund, you kind of see Evelyn's shadow loom up over Garn's head as he's inspecting the pedestal.
I swing Galadia over the top of his head.
Yeah, the shadow kind of shrinks back down behind Evelyn, and your sword clings into the wall of the stone, kind of cracking a bit of the stone out of the wall behind you.
What the hell was that?
Your eyes instantly dart over to Evelyn.
I'm sorry. You know, my companion is a bit of a jester sometimes.
Sure. But it better keep its filthy, fiendish hands off my friends.
Aww, he thinks I'm his friend.
I will see that she keeps her hands off you.
Oh, she can try to touch me.
I touch you all the time.
Have I ever read anything about this kind of possession, or?
Yeah, you can make a. I guess it'd be I'd say maybe an Arcana check for me.
Damn.
Yeah, so, you definitely sense something unnatural about Evelyn's presence. And you definitely think, being a practitioner of magic, Sorey, you definitely think that, you've heard of people in who tend to make pacts with, there are fiends, or you're actually kind of familiar with this in a way because you sort of have a relationship of your own with a certain type of creature, and anytime a fiend or a devil or some malevolent entity can worm its way into the material planes and coerce someone into bonding with them, they become kind of a vessel of sorts for that creature, and then the being tries to bend them to its will, basically trying to eventually fully take over their body and become a force of evil, wreaking havoc upon the mortals of the world,
Alright, but so, like, with this kind of possession, can the shadow actually hurt us, independent from Evelyn's body?
You believe that if the shadow could independently hurt you, it probably would have done so already. It probably has to take possession of her itself and enact within her physical form.
All right, I relay my theories to Sigismund.
Okay. Yeah, I'll tell Evelyn that if I sense that it takes her over and she even thinks about attacking anyone in this party, I will cleave her in half.
You'd be able to tell right away too, Sigismund, because the essence, the fiendish presence you feel from the shadow is totally independent from. You still kind of feel a divine kinship with Evelyn's physical form herself, and they're kind of separate. So if you felt the shadow disappear, she would be the fiendish essence itself. So you would know right away if it happened.
Okay, good.
Because of your current relationship with Galadia.
Better keep in check. All right, so there's nothing on the pedestal?
There is. An ornate stone cube rests on its
Oh.
surface. It looks like this. A rabbit with a unicorn horn.
I'd like to investigate the pedestal before we just snatch it out.
Yeah, sure. Garn didn't notice anything sinister about the pedestal itself. You can make an investigation check if you'd like as well. Yeah, it's the first one you came across seemed like it had some sort of weighted device. Well, it was more of a warning from the old Omuan, but you don't really notice anything about the pedestal itself that's going to cause anything terrible to happen if you were to take the stone from it.
I'd like to try and detect magic.
Sure. The puzzle cube itself, gives off a very similar magical aura to the ones that you've found so far and the ones that Evelyn's presented. They all kind of give off a magical essence or glow, and but the pedestal does not. Just the cube itself that's there resting on the pedestal.
What about from the source of light, or is that coming from outside?
Just coming from outside, yeah.
All right, well, it seems safe enough to grab, I guess. So I guess I'll just grab it.
Yep. You do so, and nothing happens. You have a Jin's puzzle cube now in your possession. 5 of the 9 keys
Nice.
to the tomb of the 9 god now lay in your hands.
Yeah, let's get out of here then.
That seems suspiciously easy compared to the last one.
Yep.
Something's gonna fuck us over when we get out.
Well, I wouldn't doubt that. So let's go get it.
And I might have an eye doctor's appointment in a little bit, so I think that's a good place to end the session this week.
All right.
2,000 experience each.
God.
And if you guys want to read the little story about how Evelyn got to Cholt, it's in the player handouts under Enter Evelyn.
Enter Evelyn. Nice.
But nice job. Welcome to the party, Potato.
Welcome.
Good to have you. It's nice to
I'm
have.
gonna die in the second session because he hates me.
I like the paladin. I'm really enjoying the paladin anti-paladin dynamic in that here. It's pretty fun. I now definitely recognize that I'm much better at DMing when I'm not totally shit-faced. But it's like, this is my one time every week to like let loose a little bit, for the most part. So sometimes it's almost uncontrollable. I just have the strong urge to drink alcohol. So
I mean, the last time we played, both you and Wuce, that was unreal.
We started. We were drinking. I think that I had like, I made a mimosa, but I think that it had 10 shots of vodka in it.
That is not a mimosa.
Have you ever?
That is a screwdriver.
Have you ever seen? Yeah, I guess they were screwdrivers. Yeah, but have you ever seen that meme video where the lady's like doing a cooking show and she's making a drink and she's like, then you add
Two shots of vodka.
and then they show Cookie Monster like like crashing into the dishes or whatever. Like that's what it was like. Yeah. Yeah, but well done. That was a pretty fun session.
So you said how much? I'm sorry, I missed that. 2,000?
2,000, yeah, 2,000 experience each.
Okay, cool.
And we'll catch you guys next week for Tomb of Annihilation. I hope that that was fun for you.
That was.
Yeah.
And I'll catch you guys. I'll catch you guys next week.
Bye.
Yeah, for sure.